What's going on, guys? Brennan here with Gaming Redefined, and this is going to be the first video in a new series where I'm going to be going over all of the heroes in Overwatch. So pretty much I'm going to be doing an overview of every single hero. We're going to break down, talk a little bit about their abilities, talk about how to play them, and we're also going to talk about their backstory and stuff like that. Not necessarily going to be a guide on how to play these heroes, but just give you guys an overview of the heroes in the game, and I'm going to continue to do this as more heroes roll out and stuff like that. I just thought this would be a lot of fun, and I do hope you guys enjoy it. So the first hero that we're going to be taking a look at in this video is going to be Tracer, so let's go ahead and get right into it. Alright, so starting off with Tracer's backstory. Her real name is Lena Oxton. She was the youngest person ever inducted into Overwatch's experimental flight program. She's known for her fearless piloting skills, and pretty much she was handpicked to test this teleporting jet or fighter, whatever you want to call it, and it was in the prototype stages, and she went on to fly this fighter, and it turns out it actually malfunctioned while she was flying it, and she disappeared. Everyone thought she was dead. She ended up reappearing a few months later, but she had this problem with her where she couldn't anchor herself into a certain time point. She would be in the present for a few hours, and then she would disappear, pretty much being a ghost at that point. That is until a scientist named Winston came along, and he pretty much designed this device, and it was called the Chronal Accelerator. And what this did was allow Tracer to be anchored in the present, and it also gave her the ability to control her own time, allowing her to speed it up or slow it down at will. So with all of her newfound skills, she became one of Overwatch's most effective agents, and at some point in time she was stationed at Watchpoint Gibraltar, which I'm sure that rings a bell to some of you guys. I know it does for me because that's one of my favorite maps in the game, actually. So yeah, that's pretty much Tracer's backstory. Let's go ahead and jump in game and showcase some of her abilities. Now, Tracer is a really offensive hero, and she only has 150 health, which I know doesn't sound like a lot, but her abilities really compensate for that. Starting off with her primary weapon, she has these two pulse pistols, which are really badass. She dual wields them. They carry about 40 rounds of ammunition, and they have an extremely high rate of fire, deal a good amount of damage. Now, the only downside about having that really high rate of fire is you will find yourself reloading quite a bit. However, the cooldown / reload is only 1 second, so it's not a huge deal, but it is something just to keep in mind, especially when going up against a Winston or a Reinhardt. A full clip from Tracer is not going to take them out unless they are fairly weak. You will have to actually reload mid-fight, which is kind of inconvenient. But like I said, the reload time is only 1 second, so it's not a huge deal. Now, if you're going up against a Widowmaker or a Genji and you're super close to them, a full clip should get the job done. Onto her first ability, which is her Q, or you can actually use it by right-clicking. It is called Blink. Now, pretty much what this ability does is allows Tracer to skip ahead whatever direction she is moving. If you're moving backwards and you click this ability, it will skip you ahead a few feet, and you can use it 3 times, and it goes on a 3-second cooldown. So if you want to skip ahead 3 times really quickly, then you can do that. You can go backwards and then forward twice. It's really up to you to get creative and try out different things and see what works, see what doesn't. But yeah, this is definitely an ability that you really want to get familiar with if you play Tracer a lot. On to her next ability, which is called Recall. This is her E, and this is by far my favorite ability that Tracer has, probably aside from her ultimate, which is also pretty cool. But this ability really ties in well with her kit. Pretty much it allows Tracer to rewind time a few seconds. Not only does it allow her to rewind time, but it also replenishes her health back to full HP, and it also resupplies her with ammo. So this is a really useful ability, and it allows you to kind of play somewhat recklessly with her, and when used appropriately, this could really get you out of some sticky situations. Now, it does have a 12-second cooldown though, so that is something to keep in mind. You definitely won't be spamming this like you would your Blink ability. Onto her ultimate ability, which is Pulse Bomb. I really do like this ultimate a lot. It's very simple and straightforward, as are most of the ultimates in this game, but that's not the point. Anyways, pretty much you can lob a big bomb that will stick to any surface or opponent that you throw it at, and you have to be pretty close to actually throw it at them. but it will explode after a few seconds, and it deals a good amount of damage, 400 to be exact, and it also has splash damage, so it will hurt nearby enemies. Overall, this is a really great ultimate, and you'll find yourself getting a lot of multi-kills with it. So now you guys know a little bit more about Tracer. Now I'm going to go ahead and talk a little bit about how to play her. Like I said, this isn't a guide, so I'm not going to get super in-depth or anything like that. So without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, so I may be stating the obvious, but Tracer is a really mobile hero, and you really want to take advantage of that mobility. She can get the health packs and stuff like that a lot quicker than other heroes can, and you really want to get behind enemy lines and kind of act as a disruptor and try and single out enemies as much as possible. You really don't want to get caught in a large group of enemies, because they will turn to you and kill you fairly quickly. Like I said, Tracer only has 150 health, so it's really not much. Her best bet is getting close and personal and singling out her opponent, and that's really what she's made for, taking out heroes like Mercy, Genji, Widowmakers, and stuff like that. That's really where she is most effective. So those are my tips, and that's kind of how I play Tracer, just to give you guys an idea. I know it's not much, but yeah, if you guys have any tips or you play Tracer a different way, leave a comment down below. Alright, so that pretty much wraps up this video. This has been my overview of Tracer. I hope I didn't leave anything out. I apologize if I did. This is the first time I'm doing this style of video. But yeah, I do hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please hit that like button for me. I would greatly appreciate it. And if you want to see more Overwatch content, more hero overviews and stuff like that, stick around and hit that subscribe button for me. I would also appreciate that as well. And as always, this has been Brennan with Gaming Redefined. I will see you guys in the next video.